Hello everyone, I'm Christophe, the creator of EclipseFans.org. Welcome to this second video where we're going to talk about the volvelle. What is a volvelle? It's a paper device that you can produce from the interactive map. Volvelles are nothing new. They date back to Galileo's time. They're paper devices that allow you to perform various calculations, particularly to calculate the position of planets or the moon. Let's go to EclipseFan.org to see how to produce this volvelle. For example, let's say we want to create a volvelle for the city of Burgos, so we'll type Burgos, Spain in the search bar, and there we go. We can see that Burgos is in the totality zone. We already knew that. And here, in the second tab on the right called Fan, we can visualize what the eclipse will look like at the moment of totality, but also a little before, a little after, and so on. The volvelle will allow you to do exactly the same thing, without using a computer or a phone. Further down in the panel, you have two buttons, one to generate a movable dial and another for the dial and the mask. We'll generate the mask as well, so you just click on the Dial plus Mask button. This launches the generation of a PDF file that will be calculated specifically for the location of Burgos. I open this file and here's the result. On the first two pages, we can see the movable part of the volvelle, with the very first page showing a summary of the location, the times, and also what the eclipse will look like on the horizon. Then the second page, still movable, where we have the moon's profile, as well as C1, C2, C3, C4 graduations, which correspond to the different stages over time. The third page contains what we call the mask. That is, a fixed part in which you'll cut out a hole representing the sun. You need to assemble both parts, and we'll see how to do that right now. So here, if we take the printouts, I've printed both the fixed part and the movable part. Here I printed it double-sided, but you can do it however you like. All that's left is to cut along the outline. With a hole punch here at the small circle, you make a hole and assemble everything together. And to make the circular hole in the mask, you can use a compass cutter that costs about 10 euros. Once you've assembled the volvelle, you'll see that there's a black line here and you can set the time. Here, for example, we can see that C1 will be at 7:30 p.m. in Burgos, beginning of the eclipse, and then gradually we'll move forward in time until we reach the maximum. The sun's profile, which corresponds to the white area outlined in blue. This volvelle can be generated from multiple locations. Right now, we're on Burgos. If we generate a volvelle for Paris, for example, the story is different because in Paris, the moon will be slightly offset, so the eclipse won't be total. At the moment of maximum, we can see there will always be a yellow part remaining. As a fun fact, originally what I wanted to create with this website was a site to create the volvelle, not a mapping site. But I realized I needed to produce a map, to be able to select a point in order to then generate the volvelle for that point. And by the way, do you know why the site is called EclipseFan? Well, it's because this volvelle looks like a hand fan. A hand fan is called un éventail in French. So that's the explanation. And then a fan. After all, we're talking about an eclipse in Spain. It's going to be very hot this summer. So the eclipse fan also lets you cool yourself down. That's it. See you soon for more videos. And in any case, when you watch the eclipse, don't forget to wear your eclipse glasses. See you soon.